Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I've got our top 10 characters to invest in for the month of April 2021. Now, let's just make sure I clarify at the start what this list is not. This is not a list of the top 10 characters right now. So, actually, you're not going to see, for example, Thanos on this list. He's a great character. Yes, I've invested in him obviously very fully, but his best days are behind him. Same with characters like Black Bolt and Phoenix. Our focus here is on the best characters to invest in for the future. Characters that are going to hold their value for a period of time. I'm trying to help you make intelligent investment choices for your roster. Now, obviously, the focus here is on endgame viability. Things like the Doom Raid, things like high-end war, high-end arena, DD4 trying to think ahead, maybe even to DD5. Not really looking towards a beginner experience. I'll link to my beginner's guide below, Path to Power. If you're a new player, definitely check that out. This is geared for players who have been playing the game for a while, whether you're free to play or Kraken, whether you're mid game or end game, and you're trying to figure out where should I invest. Is somebody who is at the end game who has invested, I could tell you here are the characters that I am seeing useful now and in the months to come. All right, so I'm going to get right to this list, and I'm going to talk about some characters that didn't quite make it. I will tell you that this month I got even more feedback from top players. I actually polled 5 different top players to get their feedback into the list, so we've got a lot of consensus view on this list. And one character I'm sure you're going to ask about is Polaris. Where does she fit into the list? And right now, I just don't think she does. And the reason why is, look, I've obviously got her built up. I've tested her, and she hits like a truck. Top 10 damage stat in the game, amazing damage. But look, with 100 speed, she really needs to be on her team. She's not a standalone character the way that Longshot and Shatterstar are. She's very good. She's definitely useful in the end game. She's in one of the top War Offense teams. She's also great in the Doom Raid. I'll have some footage of that later this week. But like I said, not one of the most important characters to invest in on the scale of some of these characters that are useful in multiple game modes. Ultron's another character, doesn't quite make the list. He's very good. As I've mentioned, his Red Stars will be coming soon, this Red Star upgrade system. The new patch will be on the 27th. But we don't know how fast you can upgrade his red stars. We don't know, how much of this currency we're going to get. It could be a very long grind. And right now, he doesn't have really a spot in endgame war. He's not needed in the Doom Raid for anybody who's unlocked Doom, which more and more people are doing. So I just think in the long run, he's useful. It remains to be seen exactly how important he'll be and how quickly we'll get him red starred up. A few other characters that were almost made the list. One is Shuri, who I do use every day in the Doom raids. She's useful really in all of the Greek raids at 4.3 as well. But she's just not quite as important. She's okay to have. You see, I left her at G14. She's still okay at that level. And she's really just a character who I do think over time, as more tech characters are released, will become less important. One surprise omission, and there was a lot of discussion about this, both in my stream and amongst the top players I polled, is Emma Frost. She was actually number 4 on our list last month. And the reason I had her number 4 in the list is because she's one of the best standalone characters in the game. And what I anticipated is that once the Black Order meta went down, you would see a meta that Emma Frost and Doc Ock would be, the standalone choices in Arena, along with characters like Doom and others. Now, as it turns out with Silver Surfer and Doom, you actually can have a lot of different choices on arena defense. None of them hold particularly well, some better than others, but those are the best choices. And Emma's just one of many choices in the arena. And unfortunately, in war defense, her team is getting rolled. You've seen video after video on this channel of me punching up big on Marauders, even against Marauders when they have Doom on them. It really doesn't matter who you throw on that team instead of Sabretooth to try to make it better. Marauders are unfortunately getting countered a lot. They're still a good defense team. They require a serious response, but it's clear that her team is on the downslope. And you know what? She's not used in Doom raids at all, really, at the highest level. I throw her in on one node, but she's really not doing anything. And really, people are using teams like X-Men or X-Factor in the Doom Raid. So she's really kind of a niche character that is not seeing much use. And in fact, of the top, the other 5 players that I pulled at the end, who are kind of in-game top players, they're not using her much either. Everybody had her in honorable mention status. So I've moved her down this month. One character, though, that is moving up but didn't quite make the list is Taskmaster. And the reason Taskmaster is moving up is that the newer teams don't counter his Merc defense. So, for example, Shadowland or X Factor aren't great against Mercs. That isn't quite the best team for them to counter. So they're still pretty strong, and he is useful in the skill nodes in the Doom Raid. So I have brought him to G15 this month. Nonetheless, isn't quite making the list. And if I had to say who were the tough cuts, Hela was a very tough cut. She is arguably the best character in the Mystic Doom Raid nodes, along with Doom and Surfer. She's really not far behind those characters. Hint, hint, Doom and Surfer will be in the top 10. But she is good in Alliance War offense. She does have some use in Arena offense. So some of the top players, one of them actually did have him have her in his top 10, but I just thought it was a very tough cut here, and I ended up thinking that she was just not quite the best choice. Another very tough cut. Last month I cheated by having 11 characters on my top 10, and White Tiger was 11th. She probably would be 11th again this month, but I did bring her. I did give her one more T4 this month and bring her to 6 red stars, so I think she's an amazing character. The thing with White Tiger is, while she's high on my red star upgrade list, which I do have, it's in my Stockwatch infographic, which I've linked, she's very much she benefits so much from stats, but she's very much a one-game mode character. She's not really useful in raids. I've tried her. She's fine. I mean, she's just okay there. She's just okay in DD4. She's really not useful in Arena. Yes, you can run full Shadowland, but there's no reason to, and a hybrid's better. So left her off the list this month. She is about 11th or 12th along with Hela. So let's get to our list. The 10th character on our list for this month is Night Nurse. Now, you'll see from last month, I've totally brought up Night Nurse from G13 all the way up to G15. I have the 3 essential T4s here, and Night Nurse is so important because after Red Guardian, she's the next most important character to have for the skill nodes in the Doom Raid. And here's a hint. Everyone's going to start running Doom Raid and focusing on Doom Raid now that you can get Silver Surfer shards through the raid milestones. And also the devs have told us, and you can check out my Blue ISO reveal, that they are going to be releasing Blue ISO only through the Doom Raid. It's going to be end game content. So everyone's going to have to learn the Doom Raid, and the skill nodes are the hardest. Night Nurse is the best for those nodes. And here's the great thing about Night Nurse. Not only is she super valuable in the Doom Raid, but she's also great on war offense. You guys, of course, have seen videos where I've done punch-ups like this one. 350k punch-up against a cheater like Ireland. Fantastic result from that team. Very powerful. That was, of course, one of which Night Nurse got ability blocked by my own clone, by the cloned White Tiger, and we still won, but that's a very good team. So to me, she's somebody who provides immense value in 2 game modes. You can get through the first Doom Raid node without skill node without her. The second one is more dicey without her, and the boss node is going to take you a lot more attacks if you don't have Night Nurse. So I think she's really valuable. By the way, I do think these 3 T4s are essential for her. This one is sneaky good because it gives her a lot of turn meter, even when it's just her and there's not a full Shadowland team. Whenever she gets lower in health, she gets defense up and gets turn meter. That's really awesome. Takes a lot of turns. And this still matters even if you aren't running with Shadowland allies, because it's available turn 1. It gives you two heals that are available turn 1. Very good for that character. All right, and now we go to number 9 on our list, and that's Shatterstar. Now, you may be wondering, well, Shatterstar is totally conditional, right? You're only going to use Shatterstar if you're using Longshot, and that's true. You're not going to use Shatterstar without Longshot. That's going to be true for other characters on this list, and I'll mention that as well. But look, he is an awesome character, and unlike the last character we looked at, the last couple characters, he is useful in all game modes. There are people who are using Longshot and Shatterstar in arena offense and arena defense. They're using not only in beginner arena where they're dominating, but they are also being used in high-end arena. They are one of the many choices that you can use. They absolutely mop up the cosmic lanes in 4.3. They are awesome in the Doom Raid. They are the duo that enables you to easily one-shot the mutant Doom Raid boss. And they're amazing in war. This team now has gotten buffed because now the Shatterstar special applies defense down to all enemies instead of just one for 2 turns. And now out of nowhere, the devs buffed them to give them 35% additional damage and more offense. So this team can just punch up pretty much infinitely on Marauders and other teams that are not that don't get off to a quick start, as long as you get them up to a certain level and have the necessary T4. So this Longshot Shatterstar duo is one we're going to be seeing for quite some time. Easily one of the top 10 characters to upgrade. Everyone had him in their lists, but he is down 1 from last month because we have a new addition, which won't surprise you. Okay, so he's down actually 2 spots from last month. One because of Silver Surfer, and another one because we actually have somebody moving up, and that is Symbiote Spider-Man. He's an oldie but goodie, but really a very valuable character who has seen more value lately. And this is the important thing. Symbiote Spider-Man and his team are obviously the choice for the bio nodes of the Doom Raid. But they're not arena viable, but they're great, obviously, in city nodes in 4.3, Greek raids. They're fantastic in the Gamma raid, and so they're very important for whether it's bio nodes, city nodes, or those Spider-Verse nodes in the Greek raids. But here's what I didn't see happening last month. Here's why he's gone up 1 slot from 9th to 8th. And that's that his team has actually become more important recently on war offense, and that is because symbiotes are countering Doom. I did put a video of that on my channel that you can watch. I'll link that below as well. But the bottom line is that symbiotes are the go-to Doom counter against a lot of Doom teams, and as a result, his team is becoming more important on war offense. They are also used, of course, against Sinister Six, which I've shown on my channel as well. All right, now let's go to number 7, and number 7 is Bishop. Now, Bishop is a character I think is amazing. I used gold promos to get the 6th red star on Bishop. Obviously, I have really put a lot of investment in him. He's amazing. Why is he then down 2 spots from last month? He has not gone down in value at all. The reason he's 7th is we have one character moved up, and we have Silver Surfer joining the list. But the bottom line is Bishop is fantastic, but he's fantastic on his team. He's kind of like Shatterstar in the sense that I wouldn't invest in Bishop much if you don't have Jubilee. I mean, he just really needs Jubilee to function. He also really isn't reaching his potential unless you have Beast as well. That limits his value in Arena. He's just okay in Arena. On Arena defense, the reason that he has an issue on Arena defense is that he loses his taunt if you tap him even once. If he gets attacked, he loses the taunt. So he's not a character like Red Guardian or even Drax where you have to deal with that taunt, find a way to clear it using Zemo or something else. That's one issue there. And the other issue is just that because essentially you need 3 slots instead of 1 for Bishop, it limits his viability, limits the teams you could use him in. But he's awesome. He's awesome in Doom Raid. The Axemen are the team that can do it. Certainly, if you're going to use a synergy team instead of a hybrid team, the team that could do it at the lowest power level. In addition, Axemen are great in war. They also are very useful in the Gamma Raid. Do note, though, that since he's Cosmic and the others are global in the Alpha Raid, you won't be able to use him with the rest of the Axemen team, and he's not worth using solo in Cosmic. And by the way, I should mention as well, the reason he is the most important character to gear on this, and the reason Jubilee is not on this list, is because Bishop should be the biggest character on your team, not Jubilee. As long as she lands her debuffs and stays alive, that's all you need out of Jubilee. But Bishop is the damager of the team. He's really necessary for damage, and he's also the protector on the team. And please run him as Striker, not as Skirmisher. All right, and now that brings us to number 6 on our list. And that is Red Guardian. Now, you may wonder why Red Guardian. Look, I brought him up to gear tier 15 this month. Amazing character. Why? Why Red Guardian? Simply put, the number one character in the skill nodes in the Doom Raid, and right now that is the challenge for Doom Raid. My alliance right now is getting almost 100% every day. If we don't hit 100% in a day, it's because of the Doom boss node on the skill section. It's a challenge. And Red Guardian, even at much lower levels, lower star levels, lower gear levels, will be able to get you through at least the first node or two in the Doom Raid. There are people using Red Guardian at G13 level 75 and are able to get through that first node or maybe even the second node if they get lucky. You do want those T4s in the special and the passive. What's awesome about him is not only does he spawn with taunt defense up, which is great, and he gets all this block chance and he gets a lot of health and so forth. But the other great thing is that on his first turn, he can heal. He'll clear negative effects on himself. He will heal and he will put defense up to himself and your entire team and heal your entire team. So even if you don't have Night Nurse up yet, he can provide a heal and some sustain to your team. So he really just does a lot for your team to get it going. Amazing character, definitely fantastic. And of course, he's useful in arena defense. You've probably seen him there quite a bit if you're in a shard that has Doom, where people have Doom unlocked. And he has use in Alliance War. I use him in Hydra 3.0. You've probably seen that video. People even use him on defense at lower levels in War to prevent X-Force from being a counter, which is sort of falling off at higher levels. So definitely a very, very good character who's useful in all game modes, sort of a plug-and-play character, even though skill military isn't that great, although we'll see with the rework. All right, and that brings me to number 5 on this list, and that is Doc Ock. Now, Doc Ock is down a couple spots this month, and here's the reason why. Like I said with Emma, I thought that he was going to be sort of standalone required for arena defense. Not quite. That way. He is used at arena defense. He's still an amazing plug-and-play character, still an amazing standalone character just like her. But he's just not necessary in arena defense. And he's fallen off a couple spots, but only a couple spots, because his team has fallen off at Alliance War defense. It's still an amazing offense team, and I've had a lot of discussions with players about sort of, what'll happen with Sinister Six. Will they move to offense? And look, even on defense, if you use the right summon and so forth, it can do okay. But symbiotes are a very good counter to this team. Axemen are a very good counter to his team. So not quite as valuable there. But look, this standalone character is amazing. Even if we didn't use Sinister Six as a team, this is a character you'd slot in a lot of different teams. And that's why I'm putting him as one of my top 5 characters. He is a character who will have value solo or in a team for a long time. All right, now we're going to go to a big climber. Big climber this month, and that is Baron Zemo. And as you can see, this month I've invested a lot in Baron Zemo. I added a 6th red star. I took him from G14 to G15, and the reason why is it turns out he's really good. In the Doom Raid, he, in the skill section, is more necessary than I thought. I originally was just using him in the boss node, but what I'm seeing is players are using him in all 3 modes, and it's just because you need his damage, and he just provides a lot of utility as well with the ability block, the slows that he puts on the team. He obviously he also has the fantastic damage here that he provides, and he does some buff clear as well. Fantastic character, and here's the cool thing about Zemo. He is being used in all game modes right now. That's why I brought him up 4 spots from last month, because he's being used in arena offense a lot, even sometimes on arena defense. He's obviously, like I said, being used a lot in the skill nodes of the Doom Raid. Players are even using him if they don't have Doom in the Alpha Global lane as well. And he's obviously awesome in Alliance War. And even when his team falls off, he is still such a great plug-and-play character that he's going to see use in Alliance War for a long time as a solo character. All right. And that brings me to the number 3 character on this list. Number 3 is Longshot. And it's amazing how there's been a consensus about Longshot that has developed amongst top players. When I made this list last month, people were like, wow, Longshot is number 2. He's now number 3, not through any fault of his own. Hasn't gotten any worse, but we obviously have a new addition to the game. But look, every player that I surveyed had him at 3, very consensus number 3. And I would just say this: I mean, if you're promoting red stars, and this is the clear choice if you aren't using promoting red stars on Surfer, as long as you have the yellow stars unlocked. This character is the highest damager in the game right now. There's no question about it. And the reason why this character is so bonkers is because of this passive. You know, we used to get excited because Carnage would be giving you additional speed bar on the symbiotes as long as you got them to a character to low health. As it turns out, you can only get characters to low health once unless they heal back up. Whereas with crits, you could just crit over and over again and get lots of speed bar. He is absolutely giving tons of turns to himself and his team. Him and Shatterstar alone are just a power duo that kind of roll over everything. Even without Shatterstar, I've used him in DD4 and elsewhere. He's just a character that does a lot. He heals himself on his turns. Because he takes so much turns, he tends to not be as affected as much by debuffs. And he's just critting like crazy. And by the way, Blue ISO's coming. That's going to buff him even more. I mean, just a lot of reasons to love the future of this character. Super damager, takes lots of turns, a lot of survivability, unbelievably broken character, and he's number 3 in the list. And that brings me to number 2 on this list, and that's Dr. Doom. Now, I will say there's some controversy about Doom. I know people have told you, oh, he's not as good as you might think. Oh, he's overrated, this and that. Actually, Dr. Doom is fantastic. He's a character that you end up relying on a lot, more in raids than in anything else. He's just absolutely carries you in raids. But look, he's obviously being used in arena defense. He's being used in arena offense. War is revolving around sort of where do you put your Dooms and how do you put your, what do you do with your Dooms? Do you use them on defense or offense? Yes, I understand he's not what Ultron was when he was released. I wasn't playing the game then. But I was one of the very first people to unlock Doom in the game. I've been using him a lot. I use him in every game mode. He's awesome. Do not sleep on Doom. Do not think that he is not worth bringing up. He is clear number 2. Everyone agrees on that point. And that brings us to our number 1. I got to tell you, it's rare that a character is introduced, particularly at a low star level, and is this impactful right away. This is the biggest Silver Surfer you can have now based on the legitimate offers that have been in the game. And even at this star level, he's ridiculous. He was ridiculous at 3 or 4 stars as well. His stats are insane. His utility is insane. He does so much. He takes so many turns. He heals himself so much. He has so much, he gets rid of charge and does ability block on turn 1. And he strips debuffs and rids himself from himself and steals the enemy's buffs. It just does so many things. You don't need me to tell you the Silver Surfer is amazing. This is definitely the best character to invest in. No matter what level you're in, he is a character to gear up, to do whatever you can, put ISO on, do whatever you can to bring this character up. He is a character that will carry you for a long time to come. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, certainly if you have thoughts, leave them in the comments below. Or look, go to our Discord. That's linked below. We have lots of great discussions about the game there. And please, like this video. It had lots of likes last month. Subscribe to this channel and check out my Twitch stream, which is linked below as well.